Hi, this is Shanda with Namaste Healing Retreat Center in beautiful Key West, Florida. I want to share with you today a little bit of my story and kind of explain how and why I was led into the sound healing work that I'm currently doing. So I've been working since 2008 with tuning forks, working on the body and in the energy field for clients. Have wonderful results, lots of wonderful case studies and so forth. And I've moved on to train people also how to get the same results and so forth. Been working with singing bowls. As you can see, we have a singing bowl problem. A lot of singing bowls. I love them. Wonderful way to get yourself into a nice, deep, meditative space. Doing on a regular basis tends to clean and clear your electromagnetic field so that you feel good and you're more in touch and in alignment with you and your higher self and the universe. All that is great and fine and wonderful. But in the late summer of 2022, I got sick, and I got really sick, and I could not get well no matter what I tried. And being a healer, that is usually how the universe gets my attention to move into learning and to learn what is the next thing for me to then be able to share with other people. And my nervous system was so dysregulated. I had hives all over. I had been suffering for probably about 5 years from a histamine intolerance, which if anybody has experienced that, I highly recommend you don't, because it's really not fun at all. And I had some things running in the background that I could kind of manage, but I wasn't able to really get on the other side of. Some things that had to do with my muscles and experiencing a lot of pain in my body that was really not quite normal. And that also coincided with some hormonal shifts and that sort of thing. So anyway, we all do the best that we can. I'd been to several different doctors and practitioners, and nobody had really been able to kind of figure it out. So when I was pretty much disabled for about 6 weeks, I had to really go to the mattresses and figure things out. So I started discovering and doing training in what I call specific frequency sound therapy, which is quite different from working with tuning forks or working with singing bowls. Those forms of sound therapy are what I would describe as general. So they're working with either a specific note of a tuning fork, or they're working with the range of frequencies in a singing bowl. But they're not specific to me. And long story short, I worked with a sound healer who is absolutely amazing. She works in specific frequency sound therapy. And after being so incredibly dysregulated, I was having panic attacks. I'd never had a panic attack before. And I just couldn't get well, couldn't get into balance. She prepared 12 different specific tones for me that were each about 3 to 5 minutes apiece. I listened to them one time, and I literally, after listening to them, I stood up and I said, I am well. And I knew that I was well. Prior to that, I had, my world had just gotten so small. I had gotten to where I didn't want to go to a restaurant, certainly didn't go to a bar or a crowded place with loud music or anything like that. So I just had become oversensitive to everything. And within 1 hour of listening to these very specific tones that she prepared just for me, based on my voice analysis and birth data, I was so back in balance that I said, hey, let's go out. Let's go to have dinner. And I ate whatever I wanted to eat. And this was the first time in so many years that I knew that this is it, as this is what I'm looking for. So I am thrilled to be able to share with you now what that is. So I just want to kind of describe to you a little bit about how specific sound frequency therapy works. So there's several different ways. We can do a voice analysis, and that can be done either in person or over the phone. And you would either say a script or you would simply talk about your life. And in doing that, we're just going to record the frequencies and the vibration in your voice. Your voice is like a hologram. And you and I all have this experience where if someone that we know or love is not having a really good day and you talk to them on the phone, you know within 2 seconds, less than 2 seconds, you know if there's something not quite right with them. So we're all doing this. We're all hearing the changes in a person's voice. You know if they're nervous about something. You know if they're really excited and they feel great. You know if they have a lack of energy, that everything kind of draws inward and gets compressed. Well, when we're able to measure that and measure those frequencies, we can see which frequencies you're missing and which ones you have too much of. Then we can create through this wonderful software, well, several different, I work with about 4 different kinds of voice analysis and balancing softwares. Then we're able to balance you through a soundtrack that you listen to, and then it entrains your brain to be able to make those frequencies that you used to be able to make. Whenever we experience pain, trauma, emotional disturbance, stress, day-to-day life, we go from a full range into a sense of compression. And for most of us, it just happens slowly, it happens over time, and we just sort of like get used to not being able to make that sound anymore. And, you know, if you've talked to someone who's in their work and they're in their grind and their regular stress, then they go on vacation and they have an amazing time, and then you hear them and you hear the way, their voice is totally different. You know the way this works. And so through specific sound therapy, you're able to train your brain back into making the frequencies that it's supposed to make. So you are able to sing your song, I call it your soul song, which is like a signature sound that everyone makes. And so when you're in perfect balance, you are able to make the most beautiful sound through your voice. Doesn't mean that you become an opera singer. It means that you are healthy and you feel good about your life and everything is working in alignment for you.